Welcome back to another travel video of mine. I hope this one will be better than the Salem video. I know for sure the footage will, but this video is going to be a two-part series. Me and the wife decided to head on down to Belize for our 10-year anniversary. This is her second time going. This is my very first time going anywhere out of the country, out of the United States for a vacation. We swung by Caye Caulker for a couple days and then shot over to San Pedro for the rest of our trip, and then we headed back home. So I hope you enjoy. I hope this is better than the Salem video, and just sit back, relax, and enjoy. So after waking up super early, I don't even know waking up, I think we got to the airport about 1 o'clock in the morning, but we left Seattle, Washington and landed in Houston. There we had about an hour and a half layover, I believe. We enjoyed a nice breakfast in Houston, and then we jumped on the plane and we were headed down to Belize. So from coming from Seattle to Houston, Houston to Belize, this small 2.5 hour flight from Houston to Belize felt like forever. When we finally made our approach, I was like a kid in a candy store. I could not wait to get off this plane. I was also excited by looking and seeing how it was just swampy and jungle, and I knew instantly that this was going to be nothing like I've ever experienced, and I was so excited to start this vacation. So right out of the gate, I was already experiencing new things. Once we landed on this super tiny runway, we actually drove down to the end of the runway and then turned around and then went back to our gates. And instead of waiting for everybody to go out the front door, they opened the front and back. So we had people getting off the plane in the front and the back, made it super fast. And I really wish other airlines would do that. I know why they don't. Then once we got into the airport, we had like an hour layover before we got on our little island hopper plane. So there was a Harley Davidson store there, and I actually tried to buy a sticker while I was there, but for some reason they weren't allowed to sell me the Harley Davidson merchandise if I was going out onto the out into the country. They told me I was only able to buy their merchandise if I had a ticket that was leaving the country. So I thought that was really interesting. It was kind of a bummer because I was really wanting that sticker, and I didn't even get a chance to get it when we were leaving. That is a whole story in itself, and that will be in the second video. So after this one, make sure that you look for the San Pedro. After waiting at the airport for a little bit, we finally jumped on our little island hopper plane. I believed it sat 8 or 10. I'm not 100% sure. I thought it was super cool, different experience. Only other time I've been on a small plane like this was to skydive. So it was about a 10-minute-ish flight until we got to Caye Caulker. It was a beautiful view, nice and clear that day that we arrived. And I was just getting more and more excited as we were going, seeing how blue and nice the water looked. I couldn't wait to go swimming in it. I couldn't wait just to see everything that Tia explained to me. She was actually on a trip for her nursing school where they got to go to Belize and tour the hospitals and kind of like shadow them and see how they run down here and how their health system was down here. And also she got to go to Caye Caulker, where she helped in a little clinic they have there, like teach people how to give check their blood sugar and just basic wound care. Really cool experience that she got to do that, and let alone it's such a beautiful place. They got a little bit of time to actually swim and relax on the beach as well. So we were getting a bit nervous about our trip leading up to it. We kept checking the weather, and it showed that there was going to be nothing but lightning and thunderstorms while we were there. So the fact that we came to sunshine and decently clear skies, we were both very happy. As we made our final approach to the last airstrip for a couple of days, I was just blown away at this point. I couldn't wait to get out of the plane, get to our Airbnb, and get out on that beach, have some food, and just start our vacation. After a super short walk from the airstrip, we've arrived to our beautiful tiny Airbnb. These people were amazing. They provided us with cups, towels, all the dishes you can think of, even potable water. Their usual tap water here is not potable, so we were worried about having to spend a lot of money on buying water bottles. Luckily, they gave us water, and they told us if you run out, let them know, and we'll get them some more. But this was such an amazing little, I don't know what to call it, little cabin type thing, beach house. It was just super cool. We shared the courtyard with 2 other couples, but we rarely saw them. Over there on Caye Caulker, they have no cars. It's either bicycles, walking, or golf carts. So after trying to remember how to ride a bike, because I don't even remember the last time I rode a bike, we went to the streets, started navigating around, which wasn't that hard. The island's literally like 4 or 5 blocks before you get to the other side width-wise. So it's not a really big island. They have a saying called go slow because there's no hospitals and there's 3 cemeteries. We're on our way to the Split. It's one of the more touristy areas of the island. It's a split between Caye Caulker to the other island, the northern island. We were on the southern island, and a lot of people like to go there and swim across the gap or the Split. And also they have a really cool swim area and bar. So that's where we're heading right now. Although we're on an island, there's actually not a whole lot of places where you can just walk right into the water. Right here leading up to the Split, there's this nice wall that people can get into the water. There's a little tower that people can jump off of. Down there is the nice little restaurant right before the Split that is called the Lazy Lizard. We did not eat or drink there. I actually don't know why. And I don't think we could have asked for a better time frame to go. Like, this was the week before Thanksgiving, and it was dead. The island was so quiet. There was hardly anybody there. I don't think there was a lot of Americans. There was a lot of other people from different countries, which was really cool because we did talk to some lady from the UK. Here we are at the Split. Over there is a little bench actually in the water, but there was a lot of seaweed around, so we decided not to get in. Right behind us is called the Lazy Lizard, and it's kind of like a bar/restaurant. The wife was telling me last time she was here they had races across the Split to the northern island, and the first person to get there and back got a free bucket of beer. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see any of those races while we were there, but it still had a really cool vibe to it. We ended up spending most of our day one, actually at the Lazy Lizard. We kind of just lounged around, just relaxed, and tried to decompress getting off the plane. This bar right here that's walking past is called the Sip and Dip. We actually ended up going here, and it gave us pretty good shelter during a storm. But this is another cool bar not too far from the Split. There's little benches, tables, and swings actually in the water, so you can order your drinks and walk on in. After a super lazy day one, we decided that it was time to go get some dinner and then head back to the Airbnb and just relax. We were both super exhausted from traveling all day, and we wanted to be able to get an early jump on tomorrow and enjoy as much time as we can here at this beautiful island. Being from Washington, we needed our coffee, and luckily they had a coffee shop. They had a couple of different coffee shops here on the island. This was kind of our favorite one. Coffee there is a little bit different, and straight across the street from it is their own little like dog kennel where you can actually take a dog and go for a walk with them. It was super cool. It was super cute. They had all kinds of dogs just running around. This is their menu, and you will see their advertisements everywhere. So rewinding back to day number one, our dinner, we ate at a place called Bamboo's Beach Bar and Grill. I'm totally butcher some of these names. And I ended up just getting some basic chicken. They had, I think it was coconut rice, I think that's what it was called, and a cucumber tomato salad, which was pretty much just that with some kind of ranch on it or something like that. Super good. I suggest it for like hot summer days. It'd be really good for barbecues. Yeah, super plain dinner. Then our go-to breakfast was the Ice and Beans Cafe, where we would have the mini donuts and iced coffee. Now their coffee had a very interesting taste. It wasn't like most coffee in the United States. It did have the coffee taste, but the aftertaste was like a tea. So it was as if they mixed coffee with like a green tea or something like that. So one of my actually favorite dishes that we had there was not even like a real restaurant. It was called Chef Kareem's Unbelievable Lunch Caye Caulker. And it was just a bunch of dudes that were out there with some makeshift barbecue grills, and they were just barbecuing up like shrimp and all kinds of stuff. I ended up getting the short rib, and then Tia ended up getting the chicken. But here they are cooking. It was freaking delicious. It smelled good every time we walked by. Just kind of going down the list of places we ate, there was another one called La Cubana? I'm gonna butcher a lot of these words. There I had some decently good calamari. I wouldn't really recommend it. They had a huge menu, so some of the food was kind of sketchy to order. And we also shared pupusas. I think that's how you say it. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what those pancake looking things are. The other place we ate was the Pelican Sunset Bar, which I ended up having like a shrimp shish kebab type thing. It was right there on the water. We ended up watching the sunset. It was a really nice view of the sunset. I'll have a lot of links to these places down in the description. Then we went over to, oh man, this word's gonna really, I'm gonna butcher this. Evroland's house of Fry Jacks. I'm sorry, but the Fry Jack, we ended up having that for breakfast on our last day. It just is kind of like you put whatever stuffing in the middle of it you want. They had all kinds of different things. One of the other cool places we ate at for breakfast was Namaste Cafe. Really cool environment, but not the best of food. I ended up getting like a breakfast sandwich, and I was hoping to get some good coffee there, but unfortunately I didn't. But it was a really cool place to go, and they also do yoga if you are into that. Remember earlier when I was talking about the thunder and lightning storms? Well, they finally caught up to us. There we were, moments before this video was shot, at Chef Kareem's Unbelievable Barbecue, in the sun, watching the birds fly around, having some amazing food, and then just in a few blinks, this came plowing our way. So we decided to run over to Sip and Dip, chilled out, had a couple drinks, and we were watching all these people in the water. That's when I got the idea, hey, I'm gonna get in. So we went ahead and we stashed our bag, we got in the water. Ended up being a lot warmer in the water than it was outside of the water. We stayed out there for a little bit, ended up meeting a local, chatting up with him for a little bit, met a UK girl, chatted with her for a little bit, and we decided the storm wasn't going anywhere. So we rode our bikes back to the Airbnb, which that was a blast. We were already wet from the water, or being in the water, and we didn't really care about getting rained on. So we just kind of like rode through the streets randomly trying to find our way back to the Airbnb. It was super fun. Although our day was kind of cut short, we were able to get back out there. We caught an amazing sunset. I shouldn't say amazing. We caught a decent sunset at the Pelican Sunset Bar. Had ourselves some dinner, and then went right back to the Airbnb and got ready for day number 3. So after a long stormy night, we woke up to day number 3, where it was nice, beautiful, clear, and we ended up coming up with a really good game plan for what we were gonna do for the day. We started it off by going to Namaste Cafe. It was a cool 3-story kind of restaurant building thing. 3rd floor, they do yoga on some mornings. I'm not sure their schedule or anything like that. But they have breakfast sandwiches, all kinds of different coffee drinks, which their sandwiches were pretty good, but the coffee was not the greatest. So after we ended up eating breakfast, we shot over to Ice and Beans, where we got our normal coffee drinks, because that's the best place we found that had the best tasting coffee. But while we were there trying to enjoy our coffee, we were met by not such nice weather. So we get to the other side of the island to Ice and Beans, get our drinks, and we were staring at these 2 chairs for the longest time, waiting for these people to get up so we can swoop in there, because we've been trying to get these chairs to have a nice view. And while we were waiting for these people to get up, the sun slowly started to fade, and these big black freaking clouds came rolling through. The people eventually got up, so we bolted over there, got on our chairs, both happy, content. We were like, well, the sun's gone, that's no biggie, but it's just started pouring on us. So I sat there in the chair, refusing to leave because I've been waiting so long for these chairs. I sat there drinking my coffee in the rain while the wife took cover under one of the palm trees nearby, and she finally talked me into leaving and saying, hey, let's go to the beach that we want to go to where all the stingrays were. So as you see, there's nice swings out there, there's hammocks, you can go out there and chill in the water. The water was really cool to swim in if you weren't afraid to get in the water with these beautiful alien looking creatures, which they weren't there all the time. They mostly came around during feed time, but you still got to be cautious when walking out towards the swings because they do burrow under the sand. And I gotta say, I've been to Hawaii twice. I've done snorkel trips and everything. I've seen some pretty cool sea life while I was in Hawaii, but it had nothing compared to what I seen in Belize. Like, you had to go look for some of the stuff in Hawaii. Here, you could just be sitting on the beach and something crazy would come swooping up. And the size of these stingrays was just absolutely amazing. We did see like one of the other spotted looking ones for deeper out into the water. I unfortunately didn't catch that on camera. I mentioned feeding time earlier because here's a staff member from the Iguana Reef Inn feeding the stingrays. He was handing out fish to everybody that wanted to try feeding the stingrays. I did not, just because I was just too mesmerized by the size of these things and just how they just kind of glide around. They're freaking aliens, man. The remainder of day 3, we pretty much just hung out at that beach. We swam a little bit, and then we just rode our bikes around, checking things out, seeing if there was anything we wanted to buy. We ended up going out for dinner, and then after that, we shot back to the Airbnb. I think I got in the pool for a little bit because who couldn't get in that pool? It was super cool. Yeah, but we just packed our bags, and we started planning for San Pedro. Our last day on Caye Caulker came, and we couldn't have asked for anything better than nice sunny skies. It was really fitting for a good farewell for us. We woke up, we packed our bags, and then we shot over to, I'm not even gonna butcher the lady's name. We got some really good fried jacks, and then we went over to our usual Ice and Beans cafe, got our coffees, and just hung out on the beach for the rest of the morning, kind of reflected our trip, talked about everything we liked about it, things we do different, things we want to do next time we come. Definitely not a place that we'll be coming to anytime soon in the future, but 100% we'll be coming back to this island for another vacation. I thought this was a great experience for me, as it was my first time out of the United States for vacation, and it was definitely kind of like an eye-opener on just the difference, that the way people live out there. And I gotta say, I really do love the kind of slow go, like no cars, no traffic, just no big, just crowds of people. Like, it was just that lazy style of island. You kind of got that vibe as soon as you got off the plane. It was just kind of like time stops here. That whole saying with island time, it was true here. I didn't look at the clock once. I never looked at see where we had to be on time. We were just constantly just going with the flow, and I think it added to the experience of it all, and that's why it was such a great vacation. I highly recommend Caye Caulker a place to go for vacation. I think getting there was the most expensive thing, and then after that, it's kind of up to you on how much money you want to spend. For every $2 Belizean, it was $1 American, so anytime you got your tabs for food, you just split it in half, and then you're on your way. I'm going to be putting as much links in the description as possible, and if I can't put the links, I'm just going to put the names of the places we ate at, or like the Iguana Reef Inn, stuff like that. I hope if you do plan on going to Caye Caulker, which I highly recommend, that you check out some of these places, look at the pictures, look at the menus, see if there's anything on there that you would like, and just maybe a place you would like to stay. I'm also going to try putting down my Airbnb for this trip. But I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was better than the Salem video. I honestly think the quality of the videos were a lot better this time go around. And I hope you come back to my channel to see our San Pedro video. Something very interesting happened to me at San Pedro. So keep your eye out for that video to find out exactly what it was. And see you guys in the next one.